Hi, my name is Varun Painter. I'm the executive editor at India's biggest auto show on YouTube. It's called Power Drift. You can go and check it out later. But first and foremost, thank you for the opportunity. I am incredibly honored to be here and speaking to so many of you guys. This is a live session, so thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for taking the time out. I hope everybody around you is safe, and I'm here to talk about my journey into this field of automotive journalism, how I got into it, what the past 6 years have been like, how it's changed in the past 6 years, and what does the future look like, and finally, what is that one message that I have for aspiring automotive journalists? So here it goes. Back in 2014, I was handling social media for a certain account back in Mumbai. And I just knew one thing, that I always wanted to be around motorcycles, not even cars. I always wanted to be around motorcycles, and that is all I wanted. And money didn't matter. And the one thing that I was chasing was happiness in its truest and purest form. And I knew that motorcycles were the key to happiness. So there was a company called Power Drift back in the day, and I became an instant fan. So whenever there was a video that used to come out, I used to go like the video, share it, I used to drop in a comment, and I just was a very engaging fan back in the day as well. So I had a lot of fun engaging with the brand. So I was like, hey, you know what? They are doing some really cool stuff. That's something that probably nobody in India was doing back then. So I was like, I'm gonna apply. They didn't have a page to apply as for someone who wanted to get into the company. So kind of figure out where to write to, what to write, and just wrote an email from the bottom of my heart as to why I wanted to be there. And a month later, I was there at Power Drift. I didn't join as an automotive journalist. I joined as a social media guy, made my way, and here we are 6 years later doing the same thing, just better and a whole lot of with a whole lot of improvement, if I can call it that. Now, in the past 6 years, a lot of it has changed as well in terms of how journalism has improved. Earlier, it was all print, there was no digital. And then when digital happened, websites are still running strong. They get a lot of hits and stuff like that. But I think the key is when you're visually watching something, it's a lot enticing to watch. You're able to grasp that information correctly. So YouTube came in, and YouTube kind of changed the entire game. And I was there, or fortunate enough to be there at a point when that industry was just about to take a shift from going from print to digital. And I was lucky enough, like I said, to be there. And when it happened, I was like, this is the chance, this is the opportunity. But coming back to the same thing of how things have changed, well, a lot of people are not going to go and buy magazines. And I think that's a completely personal opinion. A lot of people don't buy magazines, they don't have the time to read, they're constantly scrolling on their phone. That is why a lot of these publications as well have completely gone digital, have completely gotten rid of their print section. And I think in the future as well, digital is the space that will constantly keep evolving, constantly keep improving. So in that scenario, when I talk about how automotive journalism has changed, it has changed quite dramatically. Back in the day when I joined Power Drift as well, there weren't a lot of publications that are actually involved in the digital space. But now when you look at it 6 years later, there's so many people, so many magazines who have gone completely digital. There are so many individual content creators who are doing this. There are so many publications who have gone from being small time automotive channels to being channels with 1 million followers and stuff like that. And at the helm of it is also language. So we decided to stick to English. We did give Hindi a try for a couple of these episodes, but unfortunately for us, it didn't work out. But Hindi or regional languages are also something that a lot of these publications are invested in. I think it's very good because they're focused on a certain region of the country, and that is really helping them, because every day there's someone who's going to buy a new motorcycle, a new scooter, or a car. And when it is explained to them in a regional language, it always helps. So in that scenario, I think regional channels are doing very, very well. Let's talk about something else as well, and that is individual content creators. People on YouTube fondly call them motovloggers. And that's basically carrying an action camera with you, which is either mounted on the helmet, on the chin of the helmet, or on top of the helmet, or it's mounted onto the chest using a chest strap. And that is something that has gained popularity as well. And for people who do this very seriously, who are heavily invested in, I think my main thing is there are a lot of people, or my main input to this whole situation is that there are a lot of people who are watching you for advice. There are a lot of people who are going to take a certain product looking at your video only. So when the information is put across or when the information goes out, please make sure that it is absolutely 100% correct. Because what happens is when there is someone who goes ahead and buys a product, which is either in the motoring world, it's either a car, bike, or a scooter, that person is going to live with that vehicle, that baby, that investment of his hard-earned money or her money for a very long time. So when you're giving out information, I think it's very important to get all the facts correct. It's very important to get all the specs, all the information correct. Of course, each one of them have got their individual flavor. They've got a personal input. For example, there are some things that I don't like about a motorcycle, but there are some things that, but the same things are being liked by someone else, and that is totally fair. But I think information when put out correct is absolutely critical to a buying process. So that is my only advice to aspiring motovloggers. I'm sure there is still a lot of scope for someone who wants to start right now. So good luck and ride safe. It's considered the best, is one of the best jobs in the country, because I get asked this often at a lot of these meetups. I want to be like you. I want to do what you're doing, and this is what I see myself doing. And I think my advice to that generation of people is that there is no stopping you. It doesn't have to be that you gotta work at Power. There are a lot of publications. You can start, like I said, I spoke about motovlogging. There is something that you can do on your own. And it doesn't necessarily have to be at a company that I work for. It can be at somewhere else. All you have to do is just be 100% into it. If you are even 99% into it, it won't work. You have to give it 100%, probably more than that. But that's what this is all about, because this is something that can make or break a consumer's choice. If you think you're capable enough and you say, hey, you know what, I know what it feels like to ride a motorcycle and to judge how a motorcycle reacts or how I feel on a motorcycle and how the motorcycle kind of responds to me. If you get that right, then you absolutely have to do it, and it doesn't necessarily, like I said, has to happen with a publication. It can happen with anyone else. It can happen on your own. You can start your own thing. You can just take out a camera and shoot. And that's, I think, one of the things that I see a lot more happening. Of course, it's happened in the past 6 years, and a lot of individual creators have taken up space in the motoring world. And I think that's going to continue going into the future as well, because it's very easy to just pick up a camera or an action camera or a mobile phone, turn it towards yourself and start recording. And I think it's a great thing. We'll see the rise of individual creators going more into the future, and that is something that cannot be stopped. And I would love to see more of that happen, because the more flavor you see on digital, I think the better it is for you to understand as a consumer on what to buy and what to completely reject. So the more you see, I think there's also a bit of confusion that is added, but along with this confusion, there's clarity as well, because there is something that I might miss, but there is something that there might be something that will, there might be someone else who will spot that, and vice versa. There might be something that another creator will not spot and I will spot it, or someone from my company or my colleagues will spot it. So when you have that kind of availability of content, and I think that is super important, because like I said before as well, it's something that you put in when you're buying a vehicle. It's your hard-earned money, and when you get all the information that you probably need, it's probably going to cloud your head, and it's going to put you in a lot of confusion, but it's also, like I said, it's going to give you some clarity as well. So once that happens, It's superb. I think it just solves your dilemma and it gets you information that you seek without even going for a test ride. And I think the final story to that is, of course, going for a test ride, experiencing the bike for yourself, because that is where things make or break. So if you like the bike or the car or whatever, the scooter, then of course you're gonna go ahead and buy it. What else do I have to talk about? The one idea that has stuck with me over the years that is worth sharing. I think I've kind of said this at the start of the video, but I would still like to encapsulate this in a way where it has a deeper meaning. When you start, I'm sure a lot of you guys who are watching this are young, aspiring teenagers who want to get into a field, probably pressurized by parents, but there is a certain section of this generation who wants to do something on their own. And I think my message for everyone out there, including both the sides, is the fact that money is important. Of course, money is, at a certain age, money will be important, and that is going to be something that you cannot neglect. But at the same time, happiness is important too. It is extremely, extremely important to be happy. And I say this because at the end of the day, when you go back home, you should have that energy, that spark in you, which tells you that, hey, you know what, I've had a good day. Tomorrow is going to be a great day again because I get to do the thing that I've always wanted to do. And if that happiness is something that you can take care of, then you're going to have a wonderful career for the rest of your lives. And this is not just motoring. Whatever you do, happiness is super important. There will be stages in your life where there will be a difference in balance, where happiness might take priority. There will be a stage in life where money will take priority. But what I'm trying to say is both of these things have to be there in some percentage. 80-20, or maybe 80 on money, 20 on happiness. But both of these quotients of life have to be there. That's where things get more interesting. That's where I think you will have fun. You will have a long-lasting career. It'll be a stress. I mean, stress is going to be there at work. I cannot deny that. But at the end of the day, when you come back home and when you come back with a smile, you know you're going to wake up the next day wishing for another great day. So I think it's super simple, super important. That is my advice to all the people who are watching this. Be happy. Be happy. There are times where you will think more from the head and less from the heart, but give your heart a listen to. When you become 18, when you become an adult, you're free to do your own thing. You don't have to listen to your parents necessarily, but we do, and that's also a great thing. But when you become 18, you become independent. So I feel, don't be pressurized by what parents have to say. Have a say in the things that you're about to do, in the life that you're about to choose, and go ahead and do that. Earlier, there wasn't a lot of scope for all these new genres of work that we are experiencing in the recent world, in the digital world. And it's paying dividends. I mean, you are getting money, people are earning money, there are different ways to earn money, and there's quite a bit of money being made. So in that scenario, when you think of it, it's not a 9-to-5 that job that you have to choose. It doesn't necessarily imply that you have to choose a 9-to-5 job. You can probably wake up at 6, end at 12. Find a job that wakes you up at 6 but ends at 12. Find a job that starts at 8 p.m. but ends at 11 p.m., for example. So in that situation, find something that makes you happy. I think bottom line is that. Find something that makes you happy. And just to sum it up, that's the thing that's gonna have or make your career last long for the rest of your life. So I think on that note, I will pretty much end this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be your, at least in the digital space, and being or getting that chance to just talk to you guys. I hope you guys have fun. I miss this life of college and being around friends and being out since morning, going back in the evening. I miss this life, but it is what it is. And thank you so much. I wish I can just drop down to your college someday in the future and meet all of you guys, but that's going to take a while because of the situation that we are in. But I hope to do that soon. I promise I'll find a way to get there. Thank you so much once again for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a good day. I'll see you soon. Cheers. Bye bye.